The woman who defied science to bring me back from the edge. They told me to say my goodbyes, but she just wouldn't listen. 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with a rare aggressive neurodegenerative condition. The doctors, the best specialists in the country, they all said it was a death sentence. They gave me 6 months. Tops. My body was shutting down, I couldn't walk, and eventually I couldn't even speak. I was trapped in my own mind, screaming, while the world wrote me off. Everyone told my wife, Sarah, to move on. They said, "It's over, honey, let him go." My parents, my friends, even my own doctors looked at her with that pitying stare that says, "You're delusional." But Sarah? She didn't just get mad. She got busy. She wasn't a doctor. She was a high school history teacher. She didn't know the first thing about neurology. But the day they put me in hospice, she quit her job. She liquidated our savings, sold the house, and moved us into a tiny one-bedroom apartment, just so she could afford tuition. She went back to school. At 32 years old, she started pre-med. I remember, in my foggy moments, seeing her by my bedside, surrounded by mountains of textbooks, her eyes red and puffy, studying organic chemistry by the light of a cheap desk lamp. She barely slept. She fed me, bathed me, and then she'd go right back to studying. She failed her first chem exam, and I saw her cry in the bathroom. But the next morning, she was back at it. 4 years of med school, 3 years of residency. She forced her way into research labs that didn't want her, begging them to look at my case. She became a neuro researcher, specifically to hunt down the thing that was killing me. And then, she found it. A genetic marker that everyone else had missed because they weren't looking hard enough. They weren't looking with love. She developed a targeted therapy protocol. It was experimental, risky, and the FDA hated it. But she fought them. She stood in boardrooms and screamed until they approved a compassionate use trial. I was the first patient. The first week, nothing happened. The second week, I moved my finger. By month 3, I whispered her name. Today, I'm not just alive. I'm walking, I'm talking, and I'm looking at the woman who literally rewrote science just to keep her promise. She didn't just save my life. She gave up hers so I could have mine back. And every single morning when I wake up and see her face, I know I'm looking at a miracle.